Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is a qualification match for the World Cup of Professional Wrestling. Introducing first, hailing from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, he weighs in tonight at 234 pounds, Bret The Hitman Hart.
Well, two men with one goal in mind: to represent Canada at the upcoming World Cup of Professional Wrestling. And when you think of Canadian professional wrestlers, you think of the greatest of all time. This man's name will come up time and time again. Multiple time world champion, the excellence of execution, the Hitman, Bret Hart. Bret Hart thinks he'd be best suited to represent Canada in that big tournament, but his opponent seems to have the same point of view.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing his opponent. Hailing from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, he weighs in tonight at 241 pounds, the Rated R superstar, Edge.
Well, Edge and Bret Hart from two different eras, but you could make the argument that Edge is one of the greatest Canadian professional wrestlers of his era. Another man that's held multiple world championships, headlined many big cards. The ultimate opportunist, hoping to represent his country in that big event, of course. 3 of the 4 countries that will be in the same group as Canada have decided who's going to represent them. We're going to find out here tonight who's going to represent Canada. Remember, 9 minutes on the clock for this. Very similar to a football match. The time limit will tick down. You score a fall, you get a point. You get a number on the screen. Whoever secures the most falls by the end of that 9 minutes will be declared the winner. And of course, if it's level at the end of the time limit, we will go into a sudden death situation, as Bret Hart now really methodically wearing down the legs of Edge. You've got to believe in preparation for applying that patented sharpshooter, that move that he has used to finish off some of the biggest names in the history of this sport, and Edge may be no exception here. Finding himself on the canvas at the mercy of the Hitman, a place that many competitors have found themselves in. Look at this though, Bret Hart trying the waistlock, Edge with a reversal, goes behind the Hitman, beautiful belly to back suplex there, and Edge looks to turn this match around and get some damage in on the Hitman here, the Rated R superstar, the ultimate opportunist. Both of these men want to do the country proud. I'm sure both of them are very capable of putting in a good performance in that big tournament, and look at that. Edge taking a big risk there, big move off the top and big impact. That could be enough to put the Hitman away here. Lateral press, we could have our first fall, but maybe not. That's the Hitman just about getting the shoulder up. And look at Edge, not happy with the speed of the referee's count there. He thought he'd done enough to get the 3 count. And that's not the case, as we nearly 2 minutes into this match, as Edge sends him for the ride off the ropes, maybe trying the spear there. The Hitman getting out of the way, as now Bret Hart rolls him up, looking to sneak a quick cover. Not quite. Edge getting the kick out, and this match will go on. As now Edge goes behind Bret Hart again, nice belly to back suplex once again by the Rated R superstar. A lot of Canadians will have high expectations for this tournament. We're really going to get to find out who's the best man to represent the country here. You've just got to worry though, will we take too much out of each other for the tournament? As Edge nearly getting the first fall there, hooking the leg very close again. A couple of times now. The Hitman looked like he may have been about to suffer his first fall, but look at the Hitman now goes behind, takes Edge down. Edge managing to fight up, brings the arm. The Hitman breaking out, and Bret Hart takes him down and hooks that leg again. Every move that the Bret the Hitman Hart does has a purpose and seems to be targeting the legs of Edge, and as we said, the more damage he does to the legs, the more pain he's going to be inflicted on his opponent if he can finally lock in that sharpshooter. As Edge finds himself in a bad way here, and look at this move by the Hitman. Wrenching at the legs, the arms and the spine. A move that can hurt pretty much every part of the body, but was too close to the ropes there. The referee forcing Bret Hart to make the break, but Edge still finds himself on the canvas, and the Hitman still dishing out a lot of damage. Now hooks the leg, hoping to get his first fall here. Referee makes the count, and once again, so many near falls between these two men. As Hitman hoping he can get a quick one again, but too close to the ropes. You just never know where that first fall's going to come from, if there is going to be a first fall, as now Edge sends Bret Hart for the ride off the ropes, takes him down. Hart gets to his feet, Edge knocks him down again. Bret Hart will not stay down, tries for a third time with a clothesline, but Bret Hart getting out of the way, goes behind. Beautiful neckbreaker by the Hitman. Well, I'd say it's been pretty 50-50. Bret Hart may have just about edged it thus far, but look at this, that patented Russian leg sweep. As the Hitman looks to go to work on Edge on the canvas again. Bret Hart, perhaps one of the most methodical wrestlers in the history of the business. No wasted motion, and again going to work on the knees of Edge. He'll be lucky if he can even stand up after Bret Hart's done going to work on his knees. Manages to get vertical now as Bret Hart lets his man up. Maybe a mistake from the Hitman, but Bret Hart still trying to lay in the damage. Sends Edge into the corner, comes running in, but a nice reversal. Edge sticking the elbow up and a drop kick, and now it's Bret Hart who finds himself down and at the mercy of his opponent. Nice spinning heel kick. Nothing but patriotism and pride between these two men. Look at that though. Hitman turning him round in the corner. Perches Edge on the top rope, hoping for a big move here to perhaps get the first fall of the match. Big time superplex. And that could be enough. But Bret Hart not going for the cover. Taking a moment to try and rally this capacity crowd behind him. As now Bret sends him into the corner. A classic move here. Nothing flashy, nothing flamboyant about that. 10 punches to the face in the corner, but it hurts just as much as any other move, as now Bret Hart looks to take a big risk in hopes of getting that first fall. Tries to dive off with the elbow, but Edge is well out of the way when he hits the canvas, as now Edge looks to capitalise on a rare mistake from Bret Hart. The knees to the gut, nice scoop slam. There's just over 3 minutes left in this match. There may not be time left, but look at that. Edge with a spear. A spear on Bret Hart and punches to the face. Well, what the hell? Bret Hart getting the shoulder up before the referee could even make the count of one. I think Edge should have gone straight for the cover as soon as he nailed the spear, and Edge trying to save it with a big high risk move, but Bret Hart having that one well scouted, knocks him off the top rope, now picks him up in a nice inverted atomic drop. And you always believe with Bret Hart that even when things look like they're going wrong, everything is going exactly to plan for the Hitman, as Edge tries to get to his feet, gets taken down with a bulldog. And now look at this. Bret Hart locking it in the sharpshooter. Edge too far away from the ropes. He's putting up a fight here. Well, and Bret Hart breaking the hold. Maybe he couldn't quite get the grip of it. I don't think he could apply the sharpshooter as he wanted there, as Edge was making it very difficult for him. But Bret Hart never panics inside of that ring, just continuing with the game plan, and it could be enough here. Nice clothesline and bulldog combination in the corner. In the past couple of minutes, you've got a sense that the tide is changing in the favour of Bret Hart as he goes to the top rope, takes another risk, and a risk too many though. The advantage that he's had for quite a while in this match may have just gone there. A silly mistake, it's got to be said. And less than 2 minutes on the clock here. Only one man can represent Canada in that big World Cup, and it could be Edge here trying to beat Bret Hart with a modified version of his own move. He calls that the Educator. Bret Hart a long way away from the ropes. But in the end, Edge breaking the hold. Well, this may end 0-0. We may have to go into extra time here, but look at that, the spear. The spear by Edge. And this one may be over. Lateral press, shoulders down. Oh my God, the Hitman. Bret Hart. Nailed with a spear by Edge. He didn't get a good run up on it, but nonetheless, still his finishing manoeuvre. And somehow Bret Hart keeps his hopes alive of going to the World Cup. And now look at Bret Hart finding a second win here with fist of fury, just brawling, not something you see him do all the time. Maybe a sense of desperation here from the Hitman. Less than a minute left on the clock. As once again Edge ringing the arm, and Hitman with another counter, rolling out of it. Now Bret Hart ties up the legs. 45 seconds left. Can Edge get his hand on the rope? The sharpshooter applied. And no, he can't. So Bret Hart, it's 1-0. And unless Edge can do something drastic in the next 30 seconds, Bret Hart will be going to represent Canada in that big World Cup of Wrestling. But look at Edge, he's not giving up. And look at this, a sharpshooter of his own again. Long way away from the ropes. And Bret Hart may have no choice this time but to tap out. Can Edge level it up before that time limit expires? Well, no, he can't, and very little time left here. Surely Bret Hart's going to go, but wait a minute, Edge trying to cover after that submission maneuver. Referee making the count, and Edge lifting his shoulder up because he knows that the time limit has expired. Bret Hart, your winner. And that means, ladies and gentlemen, Bret Hart will be going to the World Cup of Professional Wrestling. He will be representing his country of Canada. And we can reveal the first of the two groups as well, ladies and gentlemen. Canada will be in Group A. All of the other countries have named their representatives. There you see Argentina, Canada, Iran and Mexico all in Group A. But tune in a couple of nights' time, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get a look at Group B and we will find out who will be representing the United States of America